professional category like that Kathleen mentioned earlier.
Yeah. So maybe I'll start then because I'm gonna be short and sweet, I hope. Yeah, for professional, so I just moved to Belgium. I just moved to a new company in September of 2019. It's just very challenging. And I already set myself like I have to achieve this. I told myself at the beginning of the year that I'm gonna get promoted the next year, and some people say that it's not possible because it's not even a year yet, and it's it's a to just give a big bit of context, it's an entirely big company, one of the biggest in Belgium, extremely competitive, and yeah, I've met a lot of amazing people in a professional sense. So, but yeah, I put in my head, yeah, I'm going to get promoted. I'm going to do whatever it takes, whatever it takes, whatever it takes. And yeah, so I think around March, I already know that I'm there. I just need to see the writing or whatever. And then in June, they announced it. Yeah, I got promoted already. And then by September, it was done. But it's funny because I thought that that's what I wanted, right? Like, so the minute that I got it, I already put next year I'm going to be senior manager. Like that's like it's just again another step, another step, and I feel like I've been obsessed about it since the beginning. If you would see my CV, for example, with less than a year, I would always have to be not have to be, but I always work to the next step, the next step, the next step. I might be one of the youngest in my level previously. Now not so much when I'm because the company is big, so it's not like it's so special that I but in essence, what is it? I mean, what is it then? Is it just the title? Is it just the next step that I want to be? And will it ever end? Because now I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be the fastest person to be a senior manager already next year, for example. I'm working towards that. And one of my so I was talking to my director and he said it, what it said that I need to get to that. And then he said, I think you have it, you can do it if you really want to, but why don't you enjoy this stage? Why don't you learn more in this stage? Which was like, what are you saying? It's like I have to get to like it's next and next and next and next. I'm not stopping now. But in essence, that was one of my greatest professional learning, to be patient and to enjoy the journey. Because I think at some point in my life, if for example I try to progress as fast as I want to, I might be in a point where I am not cooked yet, like not whole enough, but just really like pushing it for the label, for the title, for the yeah. But then how about the relationships? How about managing people? How about like really getting to know what it is required in the role? It's not how fast it is. I think it's the quality and not, I wouldn't say quantity, but yeah, it's not just going up and up and up. But it has been instilled in me for the longest time that the rating, like the reflection of how good you are is whenever you get promoted the fastest or the easiest. But internally it doesn't make any difference anymore. I'm doing the job anyway. It is indeed the title. I'm also not saying that I'm not gonna pursue it again next year or the next year, but this year like taught me to really know the why are you putting that kind of goal for yourself? What is it then? Is it the money that you get, for example? Is it the pride that you get that yeah you're new and you got promoted immediately? Or is it that you always feel that you're not good enough unless you have something on your name, something like that? Because at the same time, I also wanted, I put it in the goal that I'm going to take my MBA this year. And I applied for a master's degree instead. For MBA, it wasn't, uh, it's not that it's not feasible, but it not might not be perfect for this year. But I still want to. I went for the master's degree, and I also didn't get it. It's frustrating for me because I'm used to getting things, but at the same time, I'm also used to failing at a lot of things. So I take it lighter than the rest, and I applied it. Like I just don't stop, and then the next and the next and the next. And then I went through this mentorship program this year as well, and I was telling her this in my head, it really has to be the next, the next, the next. I have to take the masters and then the MPA and the this and this and this and this. And she told me that I am indeed very ambitious, and she can see that, but I also have to learn to understand myself. Why am I seeking for those things? Why am I what is the goal? Like why am I trying to do this? And funnily enough, when I have that mentorship conversation with a lady, later in the afternoon I had a conversation group where one lady from Croatia was there. She was also learning Dutch, and she's a poetsvrouw, she's a cleaning lady. And when asked what is it that makes her happy, like random things, like when you learn Dutch, right, it's like you want to make small conversations. And then she said, I'm a very simple person. I'm happy if my husband comes home, I can hug him, I do all these crafts, I pursue my hobby, I meet a lot of people, I'm happy. And like the contrast of how high I want to achieve talking to the mentor, and what I wanted to achieve this year as fast as I can, to the simpleness and humbleness, and like when I hear her, there's just so much joy there. Like it's no pretensions. It's not like I'm trying to tell you that I'm happy just to make you feel that I'm really happy. She can see that she's really happy. So I think that's one of the biggest thing for the professional thing. Why am I doing this? Why am I setting the goals? And I guess for next year, I would have to really reflect upon it. Not just the title, not just the next level, but the reason behind why I'm doing this. So yeah, in essence, a professional is up and down, but I'm still looking forward for the next year and the coming years to come. Yeah. I said short and sweet, but yeah.
It was sweet. I mean, it was very sweet. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe I can continue with this because I also feel very related to this. For me, I wrote for my professional goals. Like I had this straight path I wanted to go through, and it was okay. So I have to. I was in Belgium at that time in the beginning, like the last semester, so the first half of this year, I was in Belgium, and I needed to finish my courses, and I was doing also a 1-year project. I wanted to do really well on it, and that was fine. So for me, that was achievable, that I will finish those courses, and then my next step was to come back to the Czech Republic and start writing my master thesis. And I was very ambitious because I said to myself, I will try to finish my master thesis in 6 months. Not even 6 months. It was like 4 months when I had to finish it. And usually it's you write the master thesis for here at least for 1.5 years or even 2 years. But I was like, I can do it. I know that I'm capable of it, and I just wanted to speed things up so then I can go to my next step, which was to get a really good job abroad and to do all the cool stuff with artificial intelligence, because that's what I want to do, right? But the thing is that I was rushing into things too much, and along the way, when I met you guys, I started like rediscovering or even just discovering new hobbies, and suddenly I found out that this is not the path that I want to go anymore. That I found joy in other things, so that I don't really see myself as a software developer somewhere in a big company just working 8 and more hours per day on a computer, sitting on the computer all day and doing something. I couldn't see myself like that anymore, because I found joy in talking to people and really just I found out that I want to talk to people and maybe manage people later on. And suddenly I started doing all kind of things to develop this right skills for this. So public speaking, I joined Toastmasters, and then instead of writing my thesis, I was working more on how to be good at public speaking. Then I started to pay more attention to myself, because that was connected to being a good public speaker. It was connected to also like psychology a lot. And then I watched a lot of TED videos on our psychology, and it was so interesting that I spent most of my time just doing public speaking, watching psychology videos, and then working on my thesis became a little bit like a it was not a priority anymore, even though it was supposed to be a priority. But I couldn't sit on my computer all day and just write my master thesis, because when I said to myself that I will finish it in 4 months. The plan was that I have to really work on it every day for like 8 hours per day. But I was so depressed when I had to do that. And when I found these other things I could do, it felt right. It was like something inside me was like saying, this is the right way you're going. You can slow down in this. Why do you even want to finish this in 4 months when you don't know what will happen in 4 months? Because I started also going to the interviews with companies that were abroad, so in Thailand, in Singapore, I don't know, in the US. But the thing is that they can't tell you right now if they will give you the working visa. They can't predict how the situation will look like, and it's harder for a foreigner to travel right now. So I didn't know what I'm going towards to anymore. And then doing all kind of things, just it felt so good to discover what I really like. So for example, I found out that I also really like learning languages, and I started doing that again. So I was able, like 6 years ago, I was able to speak German quite well, not that well. Okay, it was like B1 or something like that. But now after 6 years, I was not confident enough to say even one sentence. And when I started again, it became also my passion. And I want to learn more languages. I really want to know up to 7 and more languages. And also another thing, I did volunteering, which I always wanted to do, and it brought me a lot of joy. So I spent a lot of time like in the retirement house where I worked with people, and it was a different kind of job that I'm used to, because I always work alone, and I don't really talk to people when I work. I just write the code, then I write a documentation, and that's kind of it. But here I found out that this helped me so much in soft skills, and also it taught me that I really want to work with people. So right now I don't really know where I'm heading to, because I'm just still discovering myself, and I know that I won't finish my master thesis this semester. And I know that it's okay to prolong it and to finish the next year. And yeah, for me, that's kind of what's been happening. But I'm happy that it happened, because it's never too late to discover your passions, right?
Yeah.
I love your story, Sao, and your story as well, Catherine. And it's actually funny because there's a common similarity with our stories, with what I'll share as well. Probably because we have the same personalities, and that's why
That's why we're together as to begin with.
that's why we're together.
So we all met, yeah.
Yeah. So I can actually relate to both of your stories. The story of my professional life is similar. I'm always rushing through things. I'm pretty competitive as well. So in most of my professional years, I've always garnered awards like top performer or something. I've received monetary awards. Um, a lot of people have high hopes for me and all of that. So yeah, I'm always rushing things and getting the next certification after the next. And yeah, with this year, it's like crazy actually because even though there's a pandemic that happened, I've got like I forgot if it's 3 or 4 offers even during the pandemic, and it's actually crazy because the first one, the offer was around May, and the offer was like twice as much as what I was previously getting. So, but I was still trying to negotiate that because that's what of the things that I've learned that you need to renegotiate the terms and condition in each of your offer. So that's what I did. But since the conditions were uncertain at that time, it's actually crazy because it's the first time that I've experienced it that even if you've already accepted the offer, since it's not yet a contract, they can retract the offer because there's a pandemic, right? And all of that. So I've accepted the next thing, the next option that I wanted. And yeah, it's crazy. It's similar thing happened. So the second choice actually was just 2 buildings away from my house. So it's actually perfect for this condition. It was the perfect thing. But the position was just similar because usually when you switch job, it's
With a higher one.
yeah, you want something higher or so right. Uh, but yeah, the opening was just the same. But I'm thinking that the with the pandemic situation and all, it's the best thing, right? So I accepted it again, and yeah, it's crazy. But with the pandemic situation and nothing certain, all the openings are closing after they got the candidate for the position. So I went to the third one, the third option that I had. So it's actually crazy when you think of it. But I think there's when during that time I can't understand why these things are happening, and as I've said, I'm rushing the next thing. I want the next big thing to happen again and again, and I want to become CFO at the earliest age possible, and all that. I've tried applying before in several countries as well. So when I think 4 years ago, I've applied in UK. I got a job offer in UK before, but I declined because I prefer the US. And I've got a job offer in US, but it's crazy because there's a lottery system in US
Yeah,
before
H1B,
they
yeah.
give you before they gave you the work permit. You need to win the lottery that is very random, like only 80,000 out of the 300,000 applicants will get it. So I didn't get it as well. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I see the common theme here that both the three of us are rushing things and all that. And the theme of my professional life this year is actually quite the opposite. Because instead of rushing things this year, because of the pandemic and all that, my work life has been pretty stable this year as compared in previous years. So before I keep rushing things, I want to win awards and all that. So this year I've tried to take care of myself more. So I've decided to do things outside of my work because before I'm equating work with myself. So the main identity of Sheila before was work and the 8 year committed relationship that I have. So right
Yeah.
now I've created some other aspects around myself. So I think that's the common theme that I have right now. So I took up MBA this year. I tried to think about it since 3 years ago, but I kept giving excuses like I probably might migrate soon, or scholarships, and all of that excuses. So yeah, I just decided to do it this year when it's pandemic and we have excess time, right? Instead of traveling to work and meeting friends and all that. So I guess I have some free time this year as compared to the previous one. So I've decided to take up the MBA. Then for work, I'm just doing the usual thing. So work is pretty stable. That's what I can say. I've improved some of the processes, but I've tried to have a personal life aside from the work life. So I tried to have some other hobbies as well. So I've tried, right now I'm trying calligraphy. So that's the thing I'm doing right now. And like this, I have passion projects with you guys. So yeah, that's the theme of my professional life, slowing down. So I'm slowing down to know myself more, to know what I want, to do the things that I value. Then I hope all of those mini projects that I'm currently doing, it would help me develop the other skills that my work can give as well, right? So which I think is important as well. So yeah, aside from work, studies and the passion projects and other things that I'm learning. So yeah, those are the things that I'm currently occupied with, and